morning of Tuesday, January 23, 1849, a young woman ascended the platform of the Presbyterian Church in Geneva, New York, and received from the hands of the president of Geneva Medical College a diploma conferring upon her the degree of Doctor of Medicine. Thus, after many years of determined effort, Elizabeth Blackwell became the first woman to complete a course of study at a medical college and receive the MD degree. On February 3, 1821, Elizabeth was born in Bristol, England. Her wealthy parents were Hannah and Samuel Blackwell. She was the third of 9 children. All of the children, both the boys and the girls, were given a good education. In 1832, unable to pay his taxes, Samuel Blackwell moved his family to New York, where her father owned a sugar refinery business. After her father's death in 1839, Elizabeth took a teaching job in Kentucky to help with family needs and make money to pay for medical school. Desiring to apply herself to the practice of medicine, in 1845 she moved to North Carolina, where she read medicine in the home of Dr. John Dixon, as no medical school would admit a woman. She was refused to schools like In 1847, Elizabeth Blackwell managed to be admitted to Geneva College in New York studying medicine. She was treated with sheer disgust by many people who believed that medicine was a totally unsuitable career for a woman. She also braved the prejudice of some of the professors and students to complete her training. She is said to have replied that if the instructor was upset by the fact that student number 156 wore a bonnet, she would be pleased to remove her conspicuous headgear and take a seat at the rear of the classroom, but that she would not voluntarily absent herself from a lecture. On January 11, 1849, Elizabeth Blackwell became the first woman to earn a medical degree in the United States and graduated first in her class on January 23, 1849. Banned from practice in most hospitals, she was advised to go to Paris, France, and train at La Maternité. While caring for an infant with an eye infection, Dr. Blackwell also became infected. Despite quick treatment and long weeks of bandaged eyes, she became blind in one eye. Because of the nature of the infection, this eye was eventually removed and replaced by one of glass. This loss was more than a blow to vanity. It put an end to her dreams of becoming a surgeon. In 1851, Elizabeth Blackwell returned to New York but was unable to practice medicine for several reasons, because no institution would hire her. During this period, she adopted an orphan, Catherine Berry, who remained her lifelong companion. She also wrote and delivered a series of papers on the importance of good hygiene and morals, which won her the support of a Quaker organization, the Society of Friends. The Quakers began referring patients to Blackwell, and her practice began to grow. But, because no one would rent space to her for her practice, she purchased a house in a rundown section of New York and opened an office in 1853. In 1857, Elizabeth Blackwell opened the New York Infirmary for Indigent Women and Children, a full-scale hospital with beds for medical and surgical patients. Its purpose was not only to serve the poor, but also to provide positions for women physicians and a training facility for female medical and nursing students. This institution still exists as the New York University Downtown Hospital. During the American Civil War, Elizabeth Blackwell trained many women to be nurses and sent them to the Union Army. After the war in 1868, Elizabeth Blackwell established a women's medical college at the infirmary to train women, physicians, and doctors. She moved the next year to England to organize the National Health Society and, along with Florence Nightingale, founded the London School of Medicine for Women. In 1907, Elizabeth Blackwell was injured in a fall downstairs from which she never fully recovered. She died on May 31, 1910, at her home in England after a stroke. She was buried in June 1910 in St. Mun's Churchyard in the west of Scotland. In her lifetime, she had accomplished what no other woman had done before, and what almost the whole world had thought impossible. Against great odds and much resistance, she has succeeded in becoming the world's first woman to graduate from medical school, become a doctor, and help educate other women in the field of medicine. Blackwell was truly a pioneer for her time. Not only did she break the barrier over every woman of her time by wanting to work in a field dominated by men, but work as an equal alongside them. The medical field was one of extreme prejudice, not only because of the many advances of medical procedure during that time period, but by the fact that the idea of a woman practicing medicine was absolute lunacy. During this time, women were fighting for their equality amongst men. She, being a woman, not only had to do well, but be better than the best to prove she was capable of practicing medicine. One miscalculation, one misdiagnosis, 1 inch in the wrong direction, and she would be the laughingstock of the medical community. Not because she was wrong, but because she was a woman. She opened a world of opportunities for women. She always fought for what was right her whole life. In 1949, the Blackwell Medal was established. It is given to women that have outstanding achievements in the practice of medicine. Elizabeth Blackwell will always be remembered as not only a great woman, but truly a founding mother of our country, and a woman who has proven through the test of time to be an innovative pioneer in the field of medicine.